So Copa Podio, it's a fairly small event in Brazil. It doesn't get a lot of coverage in the U.S., but they invite a lot of big-name guys down, and they have, well, I'm not going to try to explain it because it's a little bit confusing, but suffice to say, they have some really great matches, but they're doing things a little bit different. And the president of Copa Podio, Jefferson Micah, said there's going to be some rule changes for this next event. Number one, there's going to be a penalty for lapel guard. I don't know what that penalty is, but this is unprecedented. In IBJJF, there's no penalties for lapel guard. He's going to penalize it. Also, he hinted at two other things. There might be a penalty for 50-50, and there might be heel hooks might be legal in the gi.
Nice.
Which is unprecedented.
Nice. That's how it
And
should
finally, Leandro Lowe is going to fight a no time limit submission-only match. So let's talk about this, starting with the lapel guard. Lapel guard is something that is not brand new, but guys like Braulio Estima and Keenan Cornelius and some other guys have been doing it a lot lately. Keenan's been developing a lot of really cool stuff, namely the worm guard, and he messed with a lot of people at the last Worlds. Copa Podio is in the business of putting on an event. It's not thousands of competitors, but they're trying to get a big audience, so obviously his point, the president's point, is to make it fun to watch. Should we be penalizing new things like the lapel guard?
I think if it's your organization, yeah, you should do whatever you want. Like, it's a business. They have a goal and a model, and if they find those things boring or not fitting their program, sure.
Maybe not consider it penalizing, consider it encouraging better action.
But what's the penalty? Are they going to, like,
Yeah,
beat them with a stick or something? I mean, if it's just a point thing, I don't.
Yeah, I haven't heard exactly what the
the
penalty
thing is,
is.
you know, the 50-50, the lapel guard, it is very, you know, it takes 10 minutes and it draws it out. Whereas if you get like two guys are just going nonstop for 10 minutes, you know, to the naked eye, that's a more interesting match.
Are those guards more stalling, though, than the closed guard? Have you been in a guy's guard that you couldn't pass? Someone can hold you in the closed guard if that's what they want to do.
Yeah.
So
I think the reason, like, there's action in making things exciting, and then there's also, I think the reason for maybe those type of rules would be to bring it slightly closer to a real life situation or self-defense or whatever. But like heel hooks, you can get heel hooked, you know, anybody can heel hook you, so you might as well learn how to defend them and let them go. And I don't know, it's kind of a weird balance between keeping things, I don't know. I don't know.
The sport of wrestling had this where, and I think I've told you this before, is that, you know, you take somebody down and then you end up on top of them and you could just ride out the rest of the period,
Right.
just burn the time, and it is really boring. And if you're somebody who doesn't know wrestling, you look at it and you're like, oh, this guy's on top of this other dude, that looks really gay. And the sport of wrestling ended up changing, not collegiate or high school, but, you know, the Olympic level and the international level. Whereas if you were, you know, take somebody down, you're given only like 15 seconds, 20 seconds to be able to turn them or you know, make another throw from there. And in terms of just wrestling becoming more appealing, it changed it tremendously, and it has.
Judo's gone through a lot of evolutions like that as well. But I think judo is slightly different than jiu-jitsu because it is an Olympic sport and they do need viewership and all that stuff. And same with wrestling. You know, you got to keep it exciting.
But that's what they're trying to get jiu-jitsu elevated to that level. Where
Some
it's
people
not,
are trying to.
Sure.
Not everybody.
And that's the beauty of if you have an organization, run it how you want.
Yeah, and I agree entirely with you. It's, you know, some people are freaking out like, oh my God, I can't believe they banned lapel guard. This is just one small organization in the whole world. No one's telling you at your gym that you can't do it. And
do you not train leg locks because they're illegal in a tournament?
Right.
If you don't, that's dumb.
Right.
Like you should at your gym.
Right. So
Keep your jiu-jitsu exciting. Be
Right.
like Edwin from Gracie Baja.
yeah, super
Freaking
exciting. But so
throwing
this is just
flying
one
triangles.
small organization. They can do whatever they want.
Right.
None of us are going to be competing at that event anytime soon. But as jiu-jitsu as a whole, my opinion is that we have to be really careful about banning certain techniques. And by banning, I mean, like, say, the IBJJF, the largest tournament organizer in the world. If they started banning lapel guard, I think it would be very premature at this point, because 50-50 was a position that people hated back in 2008 when Guilherme Mendes and Samuel Braga would spent the whole final match in it. And you still see it with Cobrinha and Rafa Mendes in all their matches. And it can be boring, but people have realized how to get into it, how to get out of it, how to attack from it. We've seen some really nice attacks, arm locks from Keenan Cornelius, from JT Torres. So a lot of innovation has occurred because they haven't been, these techniques techniques haven't been banned. So it's kind of a push and pull for me. Like, how do you keep it exciting for the viewers, and how do you allow for innovation? And sometimes those are at odds.
I'm like the libertarian of jiu-jitsu. I'm like, dude, just let people do their thing.
Yeah.
But me personally, I'm not going to invest any time in learning worm or other guards.
Oh, I can show you later.
Okay, thanks. Yeah, I do appreciate that. Yeah. But I just kind of do your thing. That's my... I think you're right that if a big organization, I don't think that they should be banning that type of stuff, because it is a situation that you are being presented with, and you're going to have to learn to deal with it. But I don't want to waste my... I call it a waste of time, and maybe that's from a point of view of ignorance, because I've actually never trained it and been exposed to it, so it could be highly effective. But to me, it doesn't seem like it's going to fall into why I'm doing jiu-jitsu, so I'm not going to invest any time in it.
They're going out there and they're being the first persons to do something like that. You know, I wonder who's the first organization that's going to get the referee less involved with their matches. And, you know, you look at the other sports, football, basketball, every other sport has a definitive out of bounds. In jiu-jitsu, if you get close to the out of bounds, or, you know, it's discretion, or the official feels like he needs to pull you back. Does the position ever go back to the original position that it was in before it was stopped? Never. You know, so you see that position you're in, and that point in the mat, and you see that, okay, it's, you know, it's maybe building up to something, or, you know, the guys, and then as soon as you pull it to the middle of the mat, or you know, pull it away from there, the position is switched in less than 2 seconds, and it's like, oh, how come that didn't happen over there? Because it's not the same, and you know, good for them to, you know, to take an initiative to go out and say, okay, we're not going to build a lapel guard. Maybe it's a total bomb. Maybe they're going to hate it. Maybe they're, you know, but it's something as organizers that they're doing to push the spectator sport a little bit more side of it.
You can definitely feel the momentum that a lot of different organizations are doing things to try to get jiu-jitsu more fun for the viewer. I don't know if it's entirely going to... Do you... Let me ask you guys a question. Do you have any friends or family members that ever watch jiu-jitsu if they don't train, or if you're not in the video?
I've met people that have.
One time I watched Metamoris with a bunch of people. That was the last one.
Did they enjoy it?
Yeah, thought it was cool. I had to break things down. But that was one time since I started training like 95, 96. So it was one time in that whole time.
Well, and I think things like Metamoris, that's what they're trying to do. And so when you have things like guys coming to Metamoris and trying to showcase their guard and only doing that the whole time, that's not the point of that tournament, and you had really boring fights where that happened. Where I think those guys are jiu-jitsu black belts. If they would have gone to other positions, the tournament would have been more exciting. And I think things like Metamoris and the one coming up is going to have a bigger fan base of people that aren't going to train. I mean, it's totally biased coming from people that train, but I think they could do it. Wrestling's big in States, you know what I mean? I think it's possible, and I think those kind of events are the way to showcase it. If you can push exciting fights without having to sit through 9 hours of white belts, or somebody playing lapel guard for 30 minutes in a submission-only fight, it's like, Jesus Christ. Like, do that at the IBJJF, but I think in Copa Podio and Metamoris, that's what they're trying to do, and I like it. So I think it's good.
All right. Well, you guys brought up Metamoris. Let's talk about it. It's this weekend. You guys going to watch it?
Dude, I'm super pumped.
Yeah. They got an exciting card. Let me just run down the list of matches. We got Chael Sonnen versus Andre Galvao, Josh Barnett versus Dean Lister, Salo Ribeiro versus Comprido, Vinny Magalhães versus Keenan, Gary Tonin versus Kit Dale, and a secret match.
Any inside info on that secret match?
Yeah, it's going to be AJ and I.
Oh, nice.
No inside information. And, you know, a lot of people are speculated on who it might be, but I can't get excited about it, because if it was a big name,
I was just going to say that.
No,
if it's got to be, they would advertise it, so it's just going to be like, oh, okay, that's cool.
Right. I'm sure it'll be something interesting, but I don't see it as...
Heater versus Henner.
Or it's just an excuse for for the promoter, Halleck, to... you know,
take his time on getting the last match.
It doesn't have a fight yet.
All right, I still don't know what I'm going to do. All right, let me call him. Okay, no, you know, just typical promoter stuff.
And it's good. It gets people talking. You know,
it might be like a massive weight discrepancy. Like, it might be like one of those, like...
That's what I think.
Yeah.
Rico Rodriguez versus Shinya Aoki or something.
Exactly right.
The main event, Andre Galvao versus Chael Sonnen, is in jeopardy, though. If you recall, Sonnen was popped with a failed drug test from twice from the NSAC, the Nevada State Athletic Committee. Commission.
I think.
And they've threatened to sue Sonnen. Let me just read this quote.
On both
Multiple
occasions.
sources confirm NSAC has threatened to fine Sonnen $250,000 per failed drug test violation if he competes at Metamoris. Sonnen's camp's contention is that grappling is not fighting and suspension shouldn't cover it. Sonnen has hired a lawyer to represent him.
Yeah, so from what I've known, or what I know, is he's still set on doing it, but the commission is just, they're not. It's more of just a money thing.
Well, yeah, they're charging him a lot of money.
Yeah.
It's not because they consider this a fight and you're
No,
within
they're
these guidelines. They just want the money. They
Yeah,
want a
it
reason
sucks.
to get $500,000.
Right. Yeah, and then I guess maybe in their view, they feel like they're the person who makes threats and then can't enforce them. So, we'll bar you from fighting, but if you go and do, any other of these different things that's out of their jurisdiction, then they lose control. So I think they're trying to jockey for control and for money.
Guillermo Cruz talked to Halleck and explained the situation. Halleck's response was, "Damn, that's crazy, dude." So, but hopefully he can pull it together and the match can go on because it'll be an interesting. Who wins, Galvao or Sonnen?
Man, that's a good question, but I think Chael Sonnen's grappling game is really underrated.
A lot of people
Think he's
didn't
gonna
think he had a chance with Anderson
get a
Silva, and he
guillotine?
did it great.
Yeah, he's
in that
got
match.
mean guillotines.
Yeah.
Did you see Randy fight Jacare?
I was just going to bring that up.
It was a stalemate.
A very boring match.
Yeah.
It was
But
boring.
Jacare went after him, but Randy was just such a beast.
Is that wrestling base? Huh?
Like when they started that event and they put all the jiu-jitsu guys out on the mat and then Randy came out, they look like little boys. like an MMA fighter looks so different than, it was just like, holy crap. And even Jacare's big, but
Yeah.
he looked different than all of them. Like he was made out of rocks or something.
Right.
It's awesome.
But I love seeing these matches that wouldn't take place any other way.
Right.
Yeah.
No, for sure.
I agree with that.
These one at a time pro fight, they're the best. Anytime they do it, I think they're so fun. Hickson's Budo challenge was even like that,
was a
one
great
match at a
event.
time. That was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think these are rad. And I think the more the Gracies pull their presence out of the event, it makes it more professional. The last one was a lot more professional. And then, there's a couple things where it's like, just
Yeah.
Let it do its thing.
don't give
Yeah.
each other awards. Nobody wants to see that.
Right.
Frankly, and I think don't have your friends band play, things like that, where it's just the last one was really professional,
Yeah.
and I really liked it. And I think this one's getting better and better, and I hope they keep doing it because I think they're doing a good job.
Yep. Josh Barnett versus Dean Lister.
That's the one I want to see the
Yeah,
most.
that's going to be nuts.
Can Dean heel hook Josh?
Dude, Josh Barnett's huge.
Yeah, no, my money's on Dean Lister.
I just want to see a giant suplex. that fight's gonna be brutal.
My
Somebody's
money's on
getting
Dean
something
Lister.
broken in that one.
Saulo Ribeiro versus Comprido. These are two old school legends. I know we all have a lot of respect for these
Yeah.
guys, but will the young people watching this event, the white belts, the blue belts, will they be interested in this match?
They better. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. I think dude, Solo is nonstop. Comprido's no joke.
It's gonna be rad.
Yeah, I think that's actually gonna be a great fight. But if you're I don't think, except for Chael Sonnen, I don't think anyone has a big enough draw to. So I think it's gonna be just two epic grapplers going at it. I think it'll be enjoyed.
Is it
Has the
Gi? Is
potential
that
to be
fight
the
Gi?
Gi.
I'm pretty sure it's a gi match.
The potential will be the match of the night, in my opinion.
Which one?
Dude, Solo was the man.
Yeah.
That's who you watched.
Yeah.
And the generation shift and all that, but in the countdowns, the Metamoris countdown, Comprido came off really cool, right? And the things he said on it, I think were really valid. Like you gotta, the younger generation's got to see these guys fight, and this is a good way for them to do it.
Yeah. And Saulo just
they're
competed was
awesome.
1 year, 2 years ago at the Masters Worlds, and
He did
looked
Nogi
awesome.
Worlds before that too,
Yeah.
a while before that, and people that were in his division looked like they were shaking in their boots when
Yeah.
they saw him come out. It was
Yeah.
pretty awesome.
That kind of sucks because you have a guy that high level on it. That I think. I'm 34.
Right.
I'm probably in the same division as I'm
Totally.
a black belt. I'm 34. I'm like,
Damn it.
man.
That's what it was. It was an American guy who was just like, Solo was like growling at people and stuff. It was super awesome. That dude's a
Vinny
beast.
Magalhaes versus Keenan. This match was supposed to happen before. Vinny got staffed, so he had to pull out. So this is kind of a match that is finally going to happen.
I think
Guys,
Keenan takes it.
Yeah, I guess
dude.
my money's on Keenan too. He's training super hard. Of course, Vinny is too.
But there's no worm guard.
There's no worm guard.
Is
That's
it
right.
no-gi?
Yeah.
How do you do the no-gi worm guard?
I'll show you later.
Okay.
Gary Tonin versus Kit Dale. These are two new black belts. I think this will be a really exciting match. Gary is awesome.
That-
Yeah,
That's a
that match
beast.
with Crone was crazy.
Unreal.
Yeah, the guy's nonstop.
I've never seen Kid Dale fight.
Yeah, I don't know
good.
anything about
I've
it.
only seen his like silly internet videos and
Right.
stuff like that.
I think you and a lot of other people feel the same way. I've never really seen
How
him
long did it
fight.
take to get his black belt? Like 6 years, 5 years?
It was short. Yeah, 5 or 6 years, I think.
I had no clue.
That'll be good.
But he had a really good match against Keenan at the Pans. Or was it the Worlds?
The world, brown belt.
Brown Belt Worlds, that's right. Yeah, that was Keenan's first match of the event, and it was his toughest match. So
Yeah.
it should be good. And then we got the secret match. Well,
Yeah, I'm going for the guy in the blue corner for that one.
Secret match.
Yeah.
all right, guys, I think we talked about everything we can talk about today. I don't know if we've settled any arguments.
I think we did.
Okay.
He's right. We all just have to agree with him. He's right.
That's it.
Yeah.
We did it.
Thanks for coming in. It was great chatting with you guys,
Yeah.
as usual.
Thank you.
I appreciate it.
Yeah, let's head out to the mats.
Cool.
Right on.
Sometimes guys will stack you and there's different escapes, yeah. So I try to put all of my body weight on the back of your neck.
The next thing I do when I roll it, I pull everything in tight.
I want you to tag me on Instagram and use this hashtag right here.
One thing that I've been working a lot lately on is wrist locks.